Howdy peeps and welcome back. I think this is part 11 now. I'm definitely losing track of the SU76 build. All going well so far? Yeah, well, a couple of minor boo-boos made by me, but nothing wrong with the kit whatsoever. And I believe last time where we left it, we had the main hull was basically done. I have added the extra fender stays, that's it, rather than stick those on last time. So the next thing on the list after all that was the gun, which we'd already made a start on while we were waiting for something else to dry. And we've even got that bit done, so we're starting over here today. I say we shouldn't be too long before we're finished now. Oh, excuse me, a bit windy again today. Oh dear. Right, 88 and 79. Oh, I wonder, there was a strange scraping noise. It was just one of the leads catching on something. So, 79 and 88. Couple of tiny little parts now. Slightly different to the last thing I've been building. This is the TACOM German artillery, World War One. I think it's a 420mm howitzer. Certainly lives up to its name of Big Bertha. Yes, I mean it won't fit in shot. Let's put it that way. I might show you later if I get a mo. It is ludicrously large. It was big enough before I decided I was going to not build the barrel properly and leave it longer than it should be. Simply because I thought it looked better that way. I know, historically completely inaccurate, but hey, it's my model. I'm building it for funsies, not to go into a museum or anything like that. Right, so pick up the gun. We do have a couple of mounting holes. Doo-doo-doo. This is always where any kind of AFV, be it a tank destroyer, whatever it is, if it's got a full gun, this is when they get fiddly. Because there's so many small levers and dinky little parts. Yeah, goes on there. But it can soon get to a point where there's so many delicate little parts being stuck on at once that you go, I've got nowhere to pick it up from. Nowhere to grab it by. Should that be on the outside or should that be? Ah, it goes through from there. That's cool. I was looking in the wrong mounting point. Good job I didn't stick it there, really, wasn't it? Right. Again, I'll say these fiddly small bits will be very tricky to even see on camera unless I zoom right in, and then chances of me actually doing it in shot then are pretty much zero. So this one goes between those two mounting points there and there. towards the top. Yeah. Oh. And I'll probably end up going a bit quiet as I'm doing fiddly little bits and they're not going exactly where I want them to. I'll just get one hole, there we go. Oh dear, and then this attaches to that. This is where you can get the issues building the fully detailed guns, is that sometimes one part isn't dried before you're trying to stick the next part on, and I don't think that's quite right somehow. It doesn't look it, it might be. There we go. So you start gluing piece to piece to piece as they're small, and you've got tiny little glue surfaces. You can end up with just bending and flopping around all over the place if you're not careful. So it's a time when sometimes it's good to take your time and go slow just to make sure. But we all know that's not the way I build. Especially as there's not really an awful lot else I can do other than build the gun at the moment. There are a few more little bits we got to add to the external of the main chassis vehicle even these now. Don't think it qualifies as a hull anymore. It's a tanky destroyer. And if we no, it is the old one, that's okay. So there are a few external bits left, so if I feel I need to leave something to set up, I have got something I can move on to. It goes on that way up, so you're never going to see that side of it. That's okay. I'll give these a little buff up because they are on the top of the gun and going to be visible. So you just get rid of any excess scratches. We've gone from, no, not 128, 240 grit, then we go in 400 and I think it's 600. So again, as I said, the rougher sander does all the clean-up work, and the smoother ones, or the lower grit ones, basically just clean up the scratches left by the higher grit. So, well, it's telling us to put that in there but not glue it. That's okay. Where does it go? Now of course we grab the right side, then it'll probably be obvious where it goes. Here we are. Sits in there. And with that in, line up the other two. There we go. As you can see by the join on the top of that, it's going to need either, it's going to need a blob of filler, or just a little smear once it's glued and set, just to give us a nice smooth one piece looking surface rather than having the join down the middle of it, the seam. So we won't actually put that on yet. It does, however, look like we can put this on without it affecting where that goes for now. Yeah, it looks like that actually clips in, so that could be quite strange. Let's have a look. So gun that way round, looks under the bottom one of those, and it goes in there. Oh cripes. Okay. But it is saying to glue that. Okay. Can't see it moving anyway once it's in place, and I don't tend to play about with my models and move guns about and things like that, so we'll just glue it in place and add a spot of filler once the glue's gone off. So 67, 68 and C19. It was quite literally last night I was building the gun for the Big Bertha, and all the bits are about 5 times this size minimum. Right. And there are small parts in this kit, but it's not what I'd call super small and fiddly. Tamiya tend not to do super small and fiddly generally. They do good models, but they're not oversimplified, but they're not as tricky to put together as some, shall we say. I think this is sort of a four, maybe 500 part kit, allowing for the tracks. So yeah, maybe 400 parts. Which, considering you got the interior as well and all the shells, is actually pretty low. But I think excuse my stomach rumbling then if you heard that. So I think the mini art version was 800 or 900 parts. Plus photo etch. So the tracks are certainly fiddlier. Right. So that goes that way onto there. Oop. Where's the old one? Lost me old. There it is, I think. Gotcha. And again it's saying don't glue, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that. I won't do it right now because obviously we don't know what elevation we're going to be setting the gun at this point. But as soon as I know the elevation, etc., I will glue the gun into place. It's, just a bit there. Just missed the screw gate, so I'll just tidy it up with a knife. So if you can see, the instruction is literally just adding a few little bits on each step. then being careful about which direction they're going on. But Tamiya being Tamiya, always tell you to be careful. That's not to say I always pay attention, however. Like these two parts, 84 and 85, what I will do is put 84 there and I'll put 85 there, so they tie up with where they are on the diagram. That way I don't lose track of which one's which and wonder why I've got some weird strange fitment going on somewhere. Why is that not fitting? Oh right, you stuck them on around the wrong way again. Egypt. Right, we'll do it. That's how we learn from our mistakes as we improve. Makes us improve. Sorry, there. Forgotten how to speak English for a moment. Was it Einstein or Newton? No, someone like that. They said, idiocy is repeating the same thing and expecting a different outcome. Well, if you try something that doesn't work, you try something different next time. If you make a mistake, yeah, these things happen. If you do it a couple of times, you then go, right, what am I doing wrong? What can I do to reduce the chances of making these mistakes? Not just in modelling, in life in general, really. All part of a learning process. There it is. I knew there was a second one. Again, I'd say it's very nicely moulded, but I'm not a fan of dark green plastic. I prefer the right, I got it upside down. That's why it's going to be that side. Right. Typical Tamiya engineering, these two bits I was concerned about getting the wrong way round. They actually have different mounting. Different mountings, for example, this one's got two small mounting points and this one's got one large mounting point, so you can't really stick them on the wrong side even if you try. And, oh dear, this one goes between that, I'm thinking, it looks like, and that. So because bloody phone. So it goes that way. Somewhere around there. And the other bit, excuse me, because that goes between there and there. There we go. Just 73, 76 and 77. And that's that page done. 73 is there. Yep. So it's a Friday morning that I'm recording this, so live show later tonight. Where Norman's being interviewed. Norman Dennison. So yeah, you might need a translator in chat because he is a Geordie. Not having a go at Geordies, but as we've discovered, not necessarily the easiest accent to understand if you're a non-native British speaker. Heck, even some Brits struggle with Geordie. And yeah, say Norm's a good guy, absolutely full of tips and advice, which he gladly hands out freely. And even some of the more experienced modelers on ISM, when Norm starts talking about something that he knows as a random tip, everyone pays attention. You never know what you're going to learn from Normski. Okay, so we're holding that way, holding that way, right. Just figuring out where it fitted, how it fitted. Where, yeah, that's about it. And 76 goes on there. And Norm is probably the source of a lot of the tips I pass on. This is whether if I remember that he told me, I'll give him credit. So he doesn't have a YouTube channel, unfortunately, but then it would probably have to be subtitled some of the, or most of the time anyway. So the rest of us can just pass his tips on with accents that people can understand. Not taking a mickey, Norm, you know I love you. Anywho, where were we? Back to some slightly larger parts as we get the gun mantlet and shroud together. Oh dear, excuse I. I'm definitely struggling today. And how we're at 22 minutes already. Oh yeah, meant to apologise. The previous part, don't know why, but my camera decided it was going to cut the last sort of 30 seconds off the video. You didn't miss much apart from me saying goodbye and be cool and that kind of stuff. So I didn't bother trying to figure out how to edit two separate videos together. It didn't not record it, it was recorded it as a different file, and for some reason it does that from time to time, which that's the reason I try to keep it around about a half hour. If I go much over that, then that's when things do start going a bit squiffy. There's probably something in the settings that allows me to turn that off, but currently beyond my technical level of skill. I am most certainly not a tech head, technologically minded. I can clean out and rejet a carburettor. Just don't ask me to try and do anything current day tech level. A2 is one of these. Right. Go to the ejector stub. Again, back to sanding. That's that. We already sanded those. Oh, itchy head. Do apologise. Sound of me scratching my dome. Right. So where do these attach? There and there. That's fairly simple. I think we can manage to get that one. There we go, basically locked itself in. Result. The trick here is to not touch all the little bits at the back end of the breech, etc., that we just glued on, because they'll all bend out of shape and fall off, and we don't want that happening. Come on, there we go. And this has a couple of mounty points. Probably easier. Oh, damn it. Why can't I have a nice flat bottom on them? So much easier to put down. Right. Check we're in position, lined up. A bit of a goop, but plenty of glue. And just hold that momentarily while that sets slightly. Just keep everything square and level, and get back in shot sharp. Yes, I have just stuck my fingers in the wet glue, but never mind. And the little A2 part goes forwards, right. Which is one of the lifting eyes for when they take the gun out. So there we are for that. And so, ooh, do we put the recoil mechanism cover together? Or do we leave that for next time? How much have we got left to build? Not an awful lot. So if I try and get some more together, if I'm snappy dappy, we'll see if we can get this built in maybe one less episode than I was expecting. I might just forge on and get this done. I'm sure everyone's sick of just hearing me waffle randomly while I'm just sticking bits of plastic together. You want to see something interesting, don't you? And we'll see how that works out as to whether I can actually get airbrushing on camera. So I'll probably have to shift things around and figure out a different camera mount. I do have a small tripod which I might be able to mount over at the sides, over there, so it's looking that way. Which could do the trick. Are they? Yeah, they are spruce stubs. Basically, I just want to avoid, if I can, spraying directly under or directly at the camera, and finding a way of setting the shot up so that I can actually do it in shot, because I have a tendency to spray off the bench. So literally I'll hold the kit while I'm spraying back here and pretty much just spray under the bench, because I don't have a spray booth or anything. If it's anything particularly toxic, then I'll put a mask on and open the window and things like that, you know. Be a good boy. But it's given some of the stuff I've breathed in over my life, I'm sure a few paint fumes are the least of my worries. Right, so well, that went together easy. Now, do I carry on and run the risk of the camera deciding, no, this is a two-parter, and actually finish the gun assembly off? What do we reckon? Do we reckon we can finish the entire gun assembly? There's not a huge amount more left. Or should I play it safe as we are at the half-hour mark now? Well, I think what I'll do is I'll play it safe. Wuss out. And let's see what we've got left. Well, what I'll probably do actually is I'll finish off the gun assembly off camera now, and it is just a reminder of this step, the main gun shield, bit on the bottom, couple of hooks, the muzzle brake, and then push it on. So I'll do that off camera. The next time we can come back and we'll be doing the tow cable, mounting that, and the final little farty fiddly bits, and that should sorry, I managed to sand a chunk out of my nail. That should do us then. So one more episode of build, and then we'll be on with paint. But as promised, what I'm working on at the moment, off camera, personal build, is the tack-on Big Bertha. Yes, this thing is ludicrously large. If I turn it up, I mean, yeah. There we go. This is why these parts got a bit small and fiddly in comparison to what I've just been building. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, heard. Again, any questions, let me know. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, give us a thumbs down. If you really liked it, give us a subscribe. All that usual jazz. Enjoy your modelling, as it's a Friday, but I don't know when I'm going to put this up. Have a good weekend. Peace out. Rock on. And bye bye.